All right, man. So let's dive in. So you want me to help you build your own personal learning plan, essentially, correct? Project plan.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we're not going to be an agency. Really, at the end of the day, just to kind of give you, I guess I'll give you a quick overview. My business is real estate. I typically, not typically, I deal in investments, institutional work, Wall Street money, things of that nature. But I own about 48 homes. Most are in Dallas, Texas, and some are here. Most of the things I do is kind of operational. So building, scaling, so forth and so on, for our clients. But obviously I've looked at this, and I think I maybe told you this on our first call, is like, these are real estate properties to me, except the only difference is they're on the web. So I want to be able to internally build a portfolio of those. Basically affiliate sites would probably be the start, the easiest starting place, and then just kind of evolve from there. So.
And do you have these properties now, or are you going to be looking at acquiring them or building them yourself?
So I have 4, 5. There is 2 are kind of in the beginning stages. They're very brand specific to a company called Cell Health, which is out of Canada. They supply supplements, and they have for since about 2001. So they're very brand specific, i.e. sniper, I guess you would call them. So obviously they're limited to traffic that's been, created by this brand. We have another one called, which is an expired domain. And to my understanding, these can be relatively volatile, but they also can be relatively rewarding. It's an old health website from Scotland that's kind of been converted. It's called chronicpainscotland.org. And it's really starting to hit. It's probably seeing about 600 views a day. Or no, page views would be impressions. So it's actually seeing 600 sessions, if I'm using the correct verbiage, per day. And then I bought another couple expired domains. One's just kind of sitting on the net, kind of marinating, I guess, in incubator stage. And then another one hasn't gotten any use, but I'd like to systematically deploy some capital. I feel pretty confident, based on my experiments over the last 3 years from knowing absolutely nothing, that this is obviously very feasible, and I can get a relatively good return on my cash deployed.
For sure. Okay. So I'm just going to go through the modules. Let me just share my screen with you real quick to make it a little bit easier.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Are you going to send me this?
Yeah, this is recorded. So basically, you don't need to do campaign onboarding. Something that I might recommend for you to look into would be the kickoff data analysis. So basically, if you're still, this is why I asked if you're going to buy a property or if you're going to start from scratch. If you're going to buy a property and you have access to the analytics, or if you're going through the process of buying, then I would strongly suggest that you obviously ask for analytics so you can see how the website's performing. This report here is really good, this kickoff data analysis. What it is, it's a Google Data Studio, which we teach you how to use. We actually have a free course in here as well that's including here about how to use Google Data Studio. It's not overly important for you, but as you build more portfolios or more websites and build a portfolio, it might become more valuable because Data Studio is a reporting tool, and it'll allow you to pull in data from all your different websites and get like one dashboard to see how they're performing, right? So instead of having to log into analytics and check every single one, you can build a Data Studio dashboard that's just pulling in traffic from all. Me and David actually have a report that we built that we're calling like the command center, because it's what we use, because we have 6 websites that we run and manage, and I don't want to spend time like going into each analytics and search console. So we basically build a dashboard report that shows traffic, shows sales, shows all that stuff from all our websites in just one Data Studio dashboard. That's not what this is. This one here, kickoff data analysis, is for if you're starting with a new website. We built it to pull in the data that you need to understand for what's going on in terms of SEO for that website. So if you were looking at purchasing a website, this would be a good report for you to start off with to kind of gauge how the SEO has gone now in the past. And literally all you have to do is make a copy of the report, you switch the data source, and it will pull in through the template all the charts that we already built for you. So that could be cool. Another one that you could use sparingly, again, would be the competitive analysis. I would use this for you. So we throw this in here at the agency level. Like, doing a competitive analysis in itself will not directly help you increase traffic, right? It's more for strategy, more for understanding. We do this for clients as more kind of like an add-on deliverable. Again, it's something that, like, if they're asking for more work, or if they're like really stuck on one competitor that they have, like a lot of businesses are, then we'll run this for them. But for you, in terms of like deploying your effort and resources, I would say you could skip this one as well. Again, unless you're entering a new market, you want to figure out what's going on. If you're looking at buying a website, this would be helpful because you'd understand what those competitors are doing, right? And like basically what you have to do to kind of beat that competitor. The one that I would say is important for you is project management, because this is going to help you, especially now and going forward, basically just being able to manage all these properties. Something that I see happen a lot with people, especially who want to try and manage multiple websites, is they're not able to execute, right? They're not able to get things done.
I have the ones that I have now, and like I know that systematically I don't know. I understand the pieces, but they're not organized properly, which drives me bonkers because I'm the exact opposite of that. So yeah. 100%. I mean, I'm like, what's next? Oh shit. Okay, well, I gotta get this, it's chaotic.
And that's really good for your team too, because like what I would strongly recommend is you use one of your people as just the project manager, meaning that person is the one who's responsible to make sure that each one of your websites has, consistently the attention that it needs, and it always has the right people assigned to get this stuff done. And we'll talk more about like kind of building a little team a little bit. So that's just that module is really, really important. I would probably even suggest maybe starting there, just so you can get a grasp for, what else you really need help with is building project plans for each one of these websites. So I'm going through and I'm telling you the elements that you need, but you'll still need to take these things and turn into a project plan, assign resources, etc. So that module is very valuable. The next one here, the website quality audit. This one's a little bit more technical. And when it comes to, this should only be done probably once for you guys, meaning what this audit does, it pulls in data from 7 different sources now: analytics, search console, linked data from Ahrefs, data from all different sources, and it mashes it up into one spreadsheet that will allow you to look at every page on the website and be like, okay, the home page over the last 12 months is losing traffic. It's only got so many links. This is the top keyword, et cetera, right? So we call it the website quality audit because it helps us to understand the SEO quality of every page on the website. So this is probably the most advanced SEO module that you'll need to go through. But it's really, really important when it comes to like tidying up the nuts and bolts, especially again, if you acquire a website, you don't really know what was done. This will help you catch a lot of those like technical errors.
Perfect.
It's also important too, because what we've done intentionally is this audit then folds into the next part of the campaign. So we run that audit that has every single piece of data point that we need to understand a website from an SEO point of view. What we then do is we basically just make a copy of that file and turn it into a keyword research file, which I'll talk about in a second. So it's really important. We call it like the Swiss Army knife because we run that audit. That audit then, so basically what we do with that too is we assign what's called a URL action, meaning for the homepage, what action from an SEO point of view do we need to do with this page to maximize its potential? Same thing with like every page on the website. So you're going through, you're looking at the data, you're making a decision. Some of those decisions might be, hey, we need to do more keyword research for this page, or hey, we need to improve the title to this page, right? So we then take those and push them into the next part of the process. So for you guys, definitely skip the technical SEO audits module. That's really more for like, if you want to go into enterprise stuff, you don't need that at all. The website quality audit was really built for small-time SEO, technical SEO.
So this technical 2.2, we do have a technical person that knows SEO that would be part of this. Do you recommend that's probably something that he should definitely?
Unless you wanted to offer SEO as a service and like specifically enterprise SEO. So like we had a gentleman come in and help out with this module. Okay. Yeah. But so basically I would assign that person then to do your website quality audits, because there is a pretty high level of technical SEO acumen required to get that done.
Okay.
The trainings will obviously help them out, but yeah, I mean, if you have a technical person, then this is where you'd want them to live, right here, the website quality audit. So then skip this one. And the next thing up would be keyword research. So in our system, we break keyword research down into two parts, right? Let's say you have the website that you're referring to, right? It has, 200 pages on it, what have you. There's two parts of keyword research. Number one is looking at those existing pages, right? And optimizing the keywords for those existing pages. So a lot of times when you're acquiring a website or working with a client, they've already got like the most important pages built, because that's just how you build a website, right? So for example, if you've got a real estate website, then it would be things like, like the listings pages, the categories pages in terms of like the neighborhoods where those things might live, the homepage, etc. Right? So this part here, again, it's directly pulling data from the website quality audit, because website quality audit pulls in keyword data for those pages. So what we have is a head start, and we just look at those keywords that are already assigned to those pages. And we basically say, is this the best keyword for this page? If not, then it teaches you how to go out and find the best keyword for those pages, right? So that's part one of keyword research. Part two is then saying, okay, this is what we have now. These are the assets that we have, but what are we missing, right? How do we build more content? How do we find new keywords to build more pages and grow traffic kind of through content marketing, which we'll get to in a second.
And those,
right, so this, go ahead.
And those keywords are derived around people's intent, correct?
Yes, and that's all covered in detail about like how to do it.
Yeah.
So
So I'm just trying to connect all the dots as I hear.
Yeah, no, definitely. So let me just click in here just so you can see this too. So each one of these will come with a template. This goes video. This is keyword research for existing pages. This is talking about how to verify the keywords for those pages. These are different keyword research tactics. It's hard to see because they're all crossed out. So I give you 3 different keyword research tactics, like, hey, use your competitors, hey, use Google search, suggested search, et cetera, et cetera. So 3 very specific tactics. And then this video here goes into keyword intent, because keyword intent is part of it. Yeah, so I know I'm just kind of breezing through the overview of this. I don't want you to drink from the fire hose right now. I'm just trying to get you contextually, like, this is what I need to know. And then, of course, these things go into like excruciating detail. So that's keyword research. After that, what we like to do, and again, this might be something you'd probably want to do, but this is really good client management tool. Target pages are basically saying, okay, we did a technical audit. We identified what like your most important pages are. We did keyword research for those pages. Now we basically build a list of what we call target pages, meaning these are the pages right here that we've identified that are key to the SEO success. So basically kind of like Pareto's principle, 80-20, we're saying 80% of your success in SEO is going to come from 20% of your efforts, meaning we want to hyper focus on that 20% and not spend our time, especially when you're doing this for multiple websites, wasting our time and resources on all these pages that don't matter. So target pages is just a way of saying, these are the key focuses of what we're going to do. And also we're going to be tracking the growth of these pages over the life of the campaign. So it's really good for clients because they see like,
those are considered your money pages, I guess.
Yes, that could be a synonym used for that too, right?
Okay.
Exactly. So you can see if you're a client why you like that, because you're like, okay, great. I agree, these are important pages, and now like we know where their current ranking is, we know what their current traffic is. Now we're going to track these over time. You don't have to get to that level of detail, but it can help you to focus in terms of not overwhelming yourself with a website. If you got 10,000 pages, you can just focus on the 100 that you believe will get the most, because you found the keywords for those that have the most volume, the lowest competition, the highest intent, etc. So that can be one that you can look into kind of like later on. It's important, but I would say kind of like, focus on that later. The next really important one is going to be on-page analysis. So basically what that is saying, okay, we identified the keywords. How do we put these keywords into action? So that's going through things like how to write titles, meta descriptions, how to improve the body content, how to include multimedia on the page. Basically, how do we take these keywords and turn this into a valuable asset that Google's going to want to rank? So that's on-page analysis, right? Very important. And then after that, so now we move into to phase 3, which is what we call the building campaign. So up until now, what we've got, let's just review this real quick, right? Project management, right? Because we want to get a project plan set. We want to make sure that we have the resources in place to get this done. Website quality audit would be number 2. That's going to be the technical side of things, getting things cleaned up. Number 3 would be keyword research. So we've done the technical cleanups. We've kind of started to realize which pages are going to be key. Let's go through, find the proper keywords for those. After that, okay, we've got the keywords. Now let's go through and let's improve the SEO quality of those pages by implementing these keywords, right? So that what we're doing there in the first part of this campaign in modules 1 and 2 is saying, okay, again, when it comes to Google and really anything in life is we don't want to have to reinvent the wheel. We want to always try and hit low hanging fruit. Well, how can we do the least amount of effort to get the most amount of results? And that's always going to be starting by optimizing the assets that you have, right? Unless the website is complete shit and needs a total teardown, which is rare, then most of your success is going to come from optimizing what you already have, because it takes a lot longer for Google to rank and index a brand new page as opposed to a page that's been in its index for 2 years. So if you go and improve the quality of that page that's been there for 2 years, it's going to rank and turn around a lot faster, right? So that's basically the beginning part of this campaign, is saying, okay, like we've got all these pages, how can we get the most out of these pages that we have? After that, do you have any questions on that? Sorry, before I move on.
Nope.
Okay. So after that, now we're moving into what we call the building phase. So now we're focusing on content, right? So you've got all these pages, you've got all these MLS listings on the page, whatever it is, service pages, landing pages, whatever they are. Now it's saying, okay, we've got that done. We've got the core of our site optimized, technical things cleaned up. Now how do we build on that? How do we go out and create new assets that are going to go rank for new keywords, right? So if the website has content on it, like it's got a blog, it's got a lot of stuff, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to review that content, right? Because the thing about content right now with search is you only want to be putting your best foot forward. Google doesn't want to have to deal with a website that's got a lot of crap pages on it, that's low quality, that's thin. So we want to go through and we want to clean up those pages specifically on the blog. So if you're working with a website that has existing content, then you'd want to run a content on it. If not, you can skip it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So now we're getting into, again, when I talked about this part 2 of keyword research. So part 1 was looking at existing pages. Part 2 is now looking at new pages. So what we did is we built a little tool that you put in 5 competitors, right? We teach you how to find competitors. It's SEO competitors. You put in those 5 competitors, and then we use a tool called Ahrefs that's going to pull in all the keyword rankings for those websites, right? So you've got now a whole 5 of your competitors, all their keyword rankings. You then put in your websites, and then it pulls back your keyword rankings. And what it does, it matches up and it finds gaps. So anytime that you guys have similar keywords, it's going to wipe those out because we already took care of those, right? Now we just want to say, okay, our top 5 competitors are getting traffic from these keywords. Now we've got those identified. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then once that's done, that's a pretty short module. That's basically just how to run the tool. After that, we go into content strategy. So then it's saying, okay, we've got all these new keywords that we found. How do we take that and turn that into content that we can create? And there's also stuff about like audience research in there. We've got a really awesome content topic file that we use to generate topics. I also go in here to talk about, like, I personally our agency doesn't write content for people. So it talks about like how to build outlines. And I don't know, do you guys have a content writer?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
So we actually have a couple, but some of them are very niche specific, like
okay.
Bite, or one's a farm MD. So
okay.
he's a doctor.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what this will help you do then will be to basically work with writers and have them understand how to implement SEO into their writing. Because a lot of times what happens with SEO is people are like, they just deliver a set of topics to a writer, like, hey, go write about, like foot problems, blah, blah, blah. And they'll just go and write whatever, but it doesn't really align to what your SEO goals are, right? So we want to make sure that, as from an SEO point of view, that we're arming our writers with everything they need to write effective SEO content. So that starts with the new keywords that we identify, but then it also then turns into basically building a content matrix that says, hey, let me just see if I can show you I'm on a new computer here. But basically we give you a spreadsheet template that helps you to, this is basically what it looks like here, if you can see it. But basically puts in the topic, the keyword, the intent that we talked about, the type of page, whether it's going to be a blog post, whether it's going to be a video, nine times out of 10, it's going to be a blog post. And then talks about the keywords and then any notes that you would have for the writer. So basically, instead of going, hey, here's just a topic and a keyword, we're giving them everything that they need, including a very detailed outline, which is all included in here, to have them write content that's going to be effective for SEO, right? That's the point here, right? We're trying to get traffic. So we're trying to arm our writers with everything that they need. So that's what this module goes into. It's just kind of like tying a bow on, basically how to build a content practice that's going to help you just get more and more traffic. So that's the end of that module now. So again, we went through the website, optimized the existing things. We went out and we found new keywords. Now we're building new assets. The final part of this is promotion, right? So link building. Link building is a very, very important part of this. I'm going to give you two options. So this is by far module 4.1, the most in-depth module that we have here, because what it teaches you how to do is how to build your own link building and outreach team. It's definitely cheaper to build your own, but it's going to be a lot more work to build your own as well. So there's two options. Number one is to build your own team. And if you could build your own team and you have all these different properties, not only is it going to save you money, but you also have much more control over the quality of the links that you build. Option number two, which we talked about, is basically how to use a vendor to get the links that you need. So that's all.
Builders, quality guest posts.
Exactly. We have one specific vendor, No BS Links, that we use that it's the only real company that I'll vouch for, because I've tested some other ones, but No BS consistently comes up with the type of links that we need. However, they are a little bit more expensive. So, it's on average anywhere from like $100 to $200 per link, but they're good links.
And that's going to depend on your DR rating, correct? Because
there's a whole bunch of things.
I've seen it jump around. I mean, Authority Builders has been okay. There was a new one we're using called Quality Guest Post by this guy Costa.
Okay.
And his range from $179 to almost $400.
Yeah.
Obviously, $400 links are, DR, I don't know, 65 or higher or something like that. I'd have to look and see exactly what it is. Okay.
So that would be, and the reason why I like pull link building out now, because link building is so deep. I almost look at it as like, it's so deep now. I don't even look at it as part of SEO anymore. Like link building is link building, So like what we covered up until now through modules 3 is like the core of SEO. If you can take those, and again, like build your own project plans around these. And it's not too much stuff, right? And we've got some sample project plans that are done for you, but to take these, turn that into your own project plan that you can then replicate across your sites. And then after that, be like, okay, short term, maybe we'll just use vendors to supplement our links, but long term, maybe you want to go out and build your own link building team. Because if you have a number of properties, a big part of SEO success for you, especially in affiliates, is link building and being able to acquire the right links. So this is really, really important. Again, whether you want to pay a little bit extra to get a vendor, not have to deal with the headaches, or to figure out how you can build your own internal team. Like most of what this talks about is how to hire offshore people to build a really low cost, high quality outreach team. That again, if you have multiple properties, it might be better that way, because it's going to save you a lot of money. Like you should be able to acquire your own links for like $50 with.
I bought 3 links the other day, and it cost me $1,100. I mean, they were high rated links, but I mean, shit.
Yeah. So I would push you then to want to build your own team. I've actually had this was actually the first module that we launched. I'm not going to lie, this one is a little bit older, a couple years old, but the concepts and principles and everything are still more relevant now than ever. I've had a lot of people who used to just buy this and make a lot of money off of this, because they had their own affiliate sites, again, same thing, and they were like, dude, like the key to the affiliate model is managing your money in, because the money out, it's great because it comes literally, affiliate money is the only type of like really passive income, right? But the problem is it's usually a lot less, and you need a lot of traffic to get there. And if you can control the cost of your main traffic driver, which is going to, after you go through the SEO process, it's basically just going to be a link building exercise, and if you have your own team that can get you 3 links a day for, less than $50, then it's gonna be a lot more lucrative for you than having to pay for links. It's easy for me to say to pay for links because we do it for clients. We pay for links, but we charge them for those links. So, you know, and they're paying us the premium of having to go through this whole process and basically hand select the links that we believe are best for them. So it's a little bit different, but
And
you know, I would.
at the end of the day, it sounds like, and this is just going from, it's funny, I've read it a couple different places. I've heard some podcasts or interviews, and then I saw you and another gentleman posting in the Slack channel, but you said you try and run the business at about a 50% profit margin.
Yes.
So 50% expense load, maybe no more than I've heard, maybe even try and push it to 60 profitability, 40% expense load. But keep it probably just about there. Anything sub that is obviously you're falling down the shitter.
For sure.
Slowly.
And again, it's tough because, you know, the blueprint is definitely built for agencies. So everything I say is within the context of agencies. With what you're doing, you can definitely get higher. You know, because kind of the good thing about what you're doing too is everything up until this part here is pretty much a one-time thing, right? Except for content writing. You're wanting to be continuously writing content. But once you build out those topics in a content calendar, and again, if you have that central PM who's making sure that your content is always getting written, then like the SEO process is for the most part a one-time thing on your websites, you know. But what it's really going to come down to is continuously building the right type of content and then continuously getting links to your website. You know, so you could probably get a lot higher again if you own this capability in-house, and then you're also looking at your portfolio and you're amortizing that cost for that link building team across your 5, 10, 20 sites, whatever they are. Then it gets even cheaper. It scales and gets cheaper as you grow, you know.
Well, and that cost is going to continually go down because if I can use that link again or use that company again for a different asset, now I've stretched that initial cost across another website, which then reduces my, you know, my overall cost to get in the door. So that could go from, let's say, $10 per link to, you know, and I'm just using arbitrary numbers, to maybe $5 if I have enough web properties to spread that across. If I stay very niche specific, I guess, is at the end of the day.
Yep. And depending on, you know, cash flow and what you wanted to do, like, dude, there's nothing easier than selling links. You know, so like you could even, there's nothing easier than selling links, you know, especially being a community like the Blueprint. If you can build a relationship with a few people that need the same type of links, you can just mark those up and you can basically get your entire link building done for free, you know. So if you can build this capability, like the need for links is always going to be high. You know, just hypothetically, I don't know if you want to go down that route, but again, it's just some food for thought about what you want to do. Like I would push you to look to build this capability in-house for sure. For sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just in my little bit that I've learned over the past, I mean, I probably learned the most in the last 6 months because I actually hired someone that really has lived in this world. In the beginning, I was just trying to, SEO's easy. Like, I can do this. Fucking, you know, I got some guy in India doing it and making $1,000 a month. I'm like, why can't I do a better job? It's a little bit more complex than that. And I've definitely learned the most over the 6 months, saying, okay, this is more than feasible. There's obviously a lot of components to it.
Yeah, it's definitely more than anything, it's a lot of work, man. You know, like there's just no getting around it. Like I try and position this as easy as possible for people, but like at the end of the day, you still somebody has to put in the hours to get this stuff done. You know,
of course, 100%. I'm definitely not looking for
No, for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, aside from that, monthly SEO reporting, you might want to set up a monthly report. But aside from that, you really don't need anything else in here. You can go through some of like the bonus stuff, but a lot of this is for, you know, like the webinars are pretty much sales webinars. The tools are pretty cool. Some of the other stuff that we have, but just to recap too, just for what I think that you should focus your time on. Number 1 is project management, website quality audit. Number 2, keyword research, on-page analysis. If they have content audit, definitely keyword gap analysis, definitely content strategy, and then build prospect and outreach. So basically 6 modules out of here is what I would strongly recommend for you to maximize this. Again, keeping in mind that this one is going to take the most of your time and most of your effort. Content strategy is also pretty deep, and probably some of the more complicated concepts are in here, and then also in the website quality audit. But if you can do those, start with those. Take those, and as you're building out your project plan too, like I think the next thing that you should do is first and foremost go through the project management module, and then start to build out understanding your websites that you're working on, building out your own templatized project plan that you could apply to all your websites. And then basically all you have to do is layer in these modules, and then if one of the things that's in your project plan is a website quality audit, just go through that module, and then so somebody can basically use this as a coloring book. Go ahead.
Are you guys using a mix of obviously Google Sheets, Asana, and Slack to handle this, or what's your
all Sheets? So we built a tool in here. I think you told me that you use Asana, right?
Correct.
Was that you? Yeah. So we built a custom solution in Google Sheets. We use it for all of our companies. Like, it's actually a great system for managing a small portfolio of companies. We also use it for the 8 clients that we have. The biggest issue with our system is that it once you get like 20 to 30 clients or websites in there, it's a little bit too much to handle, and that's when you can move to Asana. But for you, if you're only working on like how many websites do you have right now that you'd be working on?
Currently active, 3.
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
the ones just that's my test pilot for the last 2 years learning. So 3 active sites.
So this is gotcha. So this is definitely, again, this was built out of the need of our agency. So it's definitely skews towards agencies, but just watch the videos and just see if you like the system, then it's very easy to implement. Especially if you're going to be building project plans from the ground up, which it sounds like you will be, then it's really just a matter of filling in a coloring book, So everything is built in Sheets, in Drive. Everything that we use is in Google Suite. Like all the audits that we build, just because when it comes to SEO, like so much of what we end up doing is going to end up in either Sheets or a PowerPoint document anyway. So we build everything in
Makes sense.
But you can still take the same concepts that we use and use Asana. Like the agency that acquired mine couldn't migrate to this exact system, but like we took literally all the exact same concepts and just implemented them within Asana.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, I guess one question kind of unrelated, since you mentioned it, you said you guys still manage or have approximately 6 properties that you currently either ads or affiliate marketing or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. Are those all built from the ground up? Are some of them expired domains? Are they very niche specific or very product specific? What's kind of your mix, just out of curiosity?
Sure. No, I'll tell you. So number one is the blueprint. That's, we put that into our portfolio of websites, obviously. That was built from scratch. Then, Weber's, my agency domain, that's also in our portfolio. That was actually, I bought that domain probably 8 years ago as an expired domain. Probably not the best idea because I didn't do enough research on it. This was like back in like the Alex Becker SourceWave days of SEO. This is way before. This is probably like 7, 8 years ago when all expired domains were all the rage. But I didn't do enough research on that domain, so it took me a while because it was actually a landscaping website before. So it took me about a year to kind of switch the relevancy, but now that website is just ridiculously powerful. So that's in there. Also, my personal website, ryanwashere.com, that's more for consulting. We're consistently doing work on that website. So that's number 3. Capture and Convert is number 4. That's a WordPress plugin that we built. That one was built, that's captureandconvert.io. We just bought a brand new domain for that. Then David's website, codingisforlosers.com. So with that company, we're focused on helping agencies build automation solutions, just like the project management tool will help us custom build stuff. That one he built from the ground up. And then the final one that we're adding in is what's called Query Recipes. Query.recipes is the website. It's not live yet. That's a brand new one as well. So we're using this. Go ahead.
it seems like yours are all a little bit more, best way to put it, except maybe the capture and the plugins, but some are a little bit more labor intensive once you actually start
Yes.
seeing client base.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
obviously
those are,
the
none of
blueprint
those are, yeah.
is
The blueprint will probably be the closest alignment, but like the blueprint is also like, that's why I said, like, when it comes to kind of like passive income, even though it is kind of a myth, the affiliate model or dropshipping model is kind of like the only one that would probably fit into that scope, right? Which is what you're doing. Not to say, but like, it's not passive because you still have to put a shitload of work up front. But once that went, like, all you have to do with an affiliate model is focus on the SEO. That's it, right? But with the blueprint, it's continuously creating more content. It's doing stuff like this. It's managing the Slack channel, but we're getting paid $3,000 for that. So it's the price eventually we won't charge that much, so we got to do more work. So, but in terms of how we collect the income, like, it's definitely a passive source because I just wake up every day and see how many sales we made, which is dope, as opposed to like the agency model where, we're sending invoices, it's a lot more hand holding, blah, blah, blah. So you're 100% right. The blueprint will probably like the closest model to what you're doing now. And SEO is obviously a factor there, but we're also focused really heavy on advertising for that model as well. But with affiliate stuff, it's 100% SEO. There's like nothing else you need to do for affiliates. You can do some stuff on social, but like, realistically, SEO is where it's going to make or break your business.
Yeah, and I really just, if anything I've learned in business over the past 12, 15 years in real estate, it's just hyper focus and be really good at one thing. And as you evolve into it later on, great, that's awesome. But outside of that, just fucking tunnel vision almost to some degree. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I don't think I have any more questions. If you have, one or two tips or things that maybe isn't covered in here as a whole that you would suggest, just being, whether it's education, whether it's just things you should know or be conscious of, in diving more into this world, I'm all ears. Otherwise, I'll let you get moving through your day.
So do you know who Matt Diggity is? I don't know if you've seen him.
Yeah, he's part of Authority Builders.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say he's got a lot of good stuff on affiliate SEO. He might be someone to look into.
I see him in the groups. He's in.
Yeah, Matt's a good dude, man. I like Matt a lot.
And he's in Authority Hacker group.
Yeah, the dudes in Authority Hacker are also good. Gail, in terms of education, that's like more specific to affiliate stuff. But I would say like kind of a tip that I have for affiliates that doesn't get talked about enough is after you get through this and after you kind of get the SEO picked up, I would say the next thing to turn your attention to would be like website design and UX, because when it comes to like maximizing your revenue potential for affiliate stuff, like the placement of stuff on your pages makes a difference. It's also like I'm actually doing an interview with one of my employees today at 3:00. We're going to be talking about like UX for marketers. Might be something. It'll be uploaded to the YouTube channel, so you don't have to tune in live. But that would be the next thing that I would say you can look into, just because again, like the placement of like adding things like Hotjar, which is a free plugin. What it does is like allows you to do like heat mapping and eye tracking on your website. So like and that's super important. Like you're getting paid off Hotjar, HOTJAR. Yep, it's an analytics tool that will allow you to see again like where people are clicking, like where they're scrolling to, how much time they're spending in different areas. Like once you get enough traffic, then that would be what I would focus on. Would be okay, like we're getting enough people to the website now, but taking people from having a 1% conversion rate to 3 is literally going to triple our revenue, and that's all done through design and UX.
What would you consider? And I'm just going through. Let's see real quick. What would you consider enough traffic? I mean, I talked to one of my friends who she's kind of in the info world, but it's really more paid, and she basically does funnels. She's like, you can make decisions based on 1,000 page views, if I'm saying it right. No, that's an impression. 1,000 actually clicks to that page. Where do you
Yeah,
say the traffic? I mean, in the last 28 days, as I look at the Google Data Studios, we have 1.5 million impressions, 13,000 clicks.
that's a good amount. I mean, what I would say too, so the other thing after UX would also be like really so the thing about the affiliate model that's tough is it's not like e-commerce where like somebody comes to your website and you can kind of baseline, hey, we'll get a 2% conversion rate, you know, for like a product page, because there's an extra step for affiliate, right? They have to then go to the other website and then purchase there, right? So the key to me also with affiliate stuff is understanding that what type of content is going to drive the most conversion. So like the stuff that I've seen, again, I'm not an expert on affiliates at all, but like the stuff that I've seen, the people that I know that have had success understand the type of content that's going to convert, and basically as a referral engine. So like, for example, there's this one website, it's called Top 10 Supplements. I don't know if they're still a big thing, but back when we were working with a supplement vendor for e-commerce, you know, that was a website that was dominating the SERPs, and what they were doing was top 10 supplement reviews for everything. And they were just using SEO and link building and building really long form content to be like, okay, when somebody's looking for like best protein stuff, best vanilla protein supplements, best, you know, creatine powders, that stuff, they built these really in-depth articles. You can probably see them, that goes through the top 10 brands that they recommend, like breaks down what's in it, why you should use it, like customer reviews, and then a link to buy it on Amazon. Right. So like figuring out, and that converts really well, because basically what they're doing is they're creating an authority website that just does like, you know, like reviews from supplements, and then sends you to a trusted vendor that you know to check out and buy. And Amazon also just has a much higher, like Amazon affiliates is great because people want to buy on Amazon anyways because they have their stuff logged in. It's, you know, same day shipping, all that shit. So like that would be the other big thing too, is understanding it's not just about getting traffic, but it's understanding what type of articles are ultimately going to serve as a good recommendation engine for where we can send somebody else to buy something, right? That's actually really, really, really important, because you can rank all day, but if the article doesn't service that referral, you know what I mean? Like people are using you as a referral source for you to recommend the best product. So you have to keep that in mind. Whatever your affiliate sites are, it's like a really big part of like understanding the content, understanding where you're sending people, how they're going to monetize, what that checkout flow looks like. That's why I always kind of try and push people to use Amazon affiliate, because like you can trust Amazon. The challenge with like sending somebody to another website that, you know, maybe they have a shitty page, a shitty conversion page. You know, maybe their checkout process is too long, right? You're only getting paid when somebody actually purchases and converts.
Yeah, yeah, Amazon, and there's the one company that I see that I like and I've actually been paid on the most is this Cell Health company. And I mean, I even got an email. They sent out an email to someone and they bought something, and they sent obviously a referral off that email because it was a client for me, which I thought was pretty cool. So, yeah, definitely not going to venture too far into the realms of the unknown people. That's for sure. Cool. Sweet. Well, that's been great. Nothing, Amber. You said you were good. Okay, cool. Well, Ryan, I appreciate your time. Definitely looking forward to working with you guys. I'm sure we'll be in touch some more. I'm sure we'll have questions and whatnot, or schedule some consultation. But I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, just hit me up in Slack if you need me.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
All right, bye guys.